Good evening, guys. Welcome back to part 4 of the series. We're in the Cirrus Jet, same stand we were before. I have just recorded this after the previous episode, but it will be released obviously a few days later, so you'll be watching it about a week after I've recorded this. We're going to be flying from here in Palmerston North down to Wellington this evening. It should take us around 45 minutes, so it is a longer episode. I might break it down to two videos. I'm not too sure yet. We'll see how the length of the video is. We're not going to hop into the plane. Well, we'll hop into the plane. We're not going to do anything in the plane just yet. What we're actually going to do is hop over here into Chrome. As you can probably see right now, OBS should be recording this. Anyway, we're going to hop into Chrome and we're going to come up here to Simbrief. Simbrief is where I do all my dispatching, creating flight plans, etc. And it is very simple to do. So we're going to create a new flight. I'm going to call this, airline can be DPG1 for Dobby Plays Games 1, and we're going to go NZPM, which is Palmerston North ICAO, down to NZWN. Now, aircraft-wise, actually we'll use our alternate as we're going to fly back up to Palmy if the weather turns to crap. Aircraft, so we're going to come here. You can customize them if you want. I don't generally customize them unless I fly them a lot. Vision jet is what we are, an SF50 Vision jet. So you'll just have to Google the ICAO. So if I go Cirrus jet ICAO SF50, but the ICAO of the aircraft sometimes pops up. So if I was flying, say, an A350 ICAO code. Oh, it comes like list of aircraft designators. Flick down A350. If I was flying A350-900, it would be A359, and that's what we put into. Well, we put that into there. None of this really matters. Well, fuel pay, that is quite an important one. Make sure your units are in kilos. You can change all this as you please. ATC call sign you can change if you also want to. Saying an hour, but we'll get an actual better estimate when we come down here. Departing off runway 25, coming down here and running on runway 01 by the looks of things. I think it's 01 in Wellington. But anyway, we're coming down past Wellington and turning up onto the approach. Well, now that's all pretty much done. Obviously, you can change cargo, zero fuel weight, all that stuff as you so please. But that's basically how you create it. Hit generate, and it will produce everything we need. Does take a few seconds, especially if you're doing longer flights. Like if you're doing like a 7-8 hour flight in and around Europe or America, because of the amount of airways there are, it does have to calculate it for a while. As you can see, airtime's only 30 minutes this evening, so that's not too bad at all. Do look at these remarks. They are quite important for some. This obviously isn't so important. That one is a bit more important than the other one. But there we go. Cruising at flight level 160, so 16,000 feet today. And that's our alternate route. So the solid black line is where we're flying, and then if we had to go around, this dotted line is how I'd fly back up to Palmerston North. This flight plan here, now we'll start really at the top and work our way down. Flight number, date, destination, arrival point, aircraft type, registration of aircraft, when the flight plan was released. Okay, so it's Palmerston North to Wellington International. This weather progressive, I believe, is the time of the weather. I could be wrong. And then we've got these digits down the side here. So we've got the cruise system. Now that would normally have, if you're in a bigger jet, as we will show you in the 7.3, we'll have a cost index, which we can discuss in the 737 episode, as it isn't relevant. It's not relevant for this one here. You've got the ground distance, so how far you're flying over the ground. Air distance, 104 miles, so it's 3 miles longer. And then we've got average wind, so we can see if we've got a headwind or a tailwind. Not too important. The weights here are quite important. So we've got a zero fuel weight. We're maxed out on zero fuel weight. And our takeoff weight is 200 kilos below max takeoff weight. Not too bad. at all. Average fuel flow, obviously 234 kilos. That's how much we're burning per hour. So we've got about an hour and a half, an hour and just under 2 hours of gas. So that's fine. Trip to Wellington will be burning approximately 120 kilos of fuel. We've then got contingency fuel. So if we say got put into a hold at Wellington, which I doubt we will, that's how much fuel. We'd have 15 minutes of holding time. If you obviously are doing a major Vatsim event, you would put as much fuel as you can on, so you might max out the fuel, or you'd, on the previous page, change the contingency fuel, because you can put that in manually. Alternate fuel, to get back up to Palmy, we'll be using 107 kilos of fuel, which is 39 minutes of gas, and final reserve of 78 kilos, so that's just if something goes wrong, or you just need to hold, or just there's various situations where you could use that final reserve, holding on a taxiway for a while, etc., etc. Minimum takeoff fuel, so before we take off, check that we have that much gas, which is the minimum, so that's basically take away your final reserve, I believe, and a few other items there that is not a necessity as such. And then we've got our takeoff fuel again, so the minimum takeoff fuel and the takeoff fuel should be the same. And taxi fuel, we got 54 kilos for 20 minutes of taxiing. So the block fuel, total fuel we're carrying today is 417 kilos. This here is our route, or our alternate route? No, this is our route, actually. So I'm so confused right now. No, this isn't our alternate route. Sorry, the route. The normal route that we're following right now is here. This is if we want to fly back up to Palmerston North after failing to land in Wellington. We'll follow this route. But our route for this evening, is here. So this is our route. There's our SID, followed by the first waypoint, the airway, next waypoint, and the star. And then we've got the runway, so we're landing runway 34, takeoff runway 25. Here it's saying if we want to change our weight, if we want to increase our weight by 1 ton, we'd have to positively, so add on 20 kilos of fuel. If we want to reduce our weight by 1 ton, we can take away 28 kilos of fuel. Flight level change, if we want to go up a flight level, so right now at 160, if we wanted to go up to 170, I have to put on 2 more kilos. And you get the gist of it. Flight down 1 flight level, 5 kilos more, down 2 flight levels, 2 kilos more. Cost index, obviously, this is a brief indication of what we'll be using in the 703 next time. Then you've got your times here. So estimated scheduled, that's if they're off, it means there could be weather or something like that. On scheduled, so estimated and scheduled. Scheduled is the same, will be 2 minutes ahead of our scheduled amount of time, and 2 minutes ahead of our scheduled amount of time. So 58 minutes where it was planned in at 1 hour, as you saw on the previous page. 6 people on board. That's not really too big of a deal on this aircraft. On the 737, it will payload 500 kilos, fuel 400 kilos. So that's it really. We've got obviously all the waypoints there. Most critical, I believe that's to do with our height and obstacles around. So it's saying we need to be above 6,800 feet minimum at top of climb, which should be easy because we're going up to flight level 160. Here we've got the waypoints. So first latitude, longitude. It's pretty straightforward. It tells you the perfect place where the waypoint should be. And from there, if you had a GPS failure, you could tick it off, or you wanted to make sure the GPS is working. If you wanted to go into that depth, you could check the GPS as you flew over the waypoint and see what's going on. We've then got our estimated en route time, so 3 minutes from here to here. 3 minutes from here to here, blah, 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 all the way up. And the second one is the total time. So you got 3 minutes and then 8, because it's 3, 5, blah, 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 blah. Goes up and up and up until you get to your final waypoint there, which is Wellington. Flight level, how high we are. Get it up to flight level 160. Ground speed, roughly what speed we should be at. We've got the wind. 270 at 24, and then the shear I always look at. It's turbulence, so 1 is pretty low, so that means there's not going to be much turbulence, and that's throughout there. Or it might be a little bit bumpy, but not too bad. At estimated fuel on board, that's how much fuel you should have at each waypoint, which you should check off on longer flights, which we will be doing on the 7.3. Coming down here, this is what we'll be dispatching with to Vatsim. And then we've got some weather data for Wellington here. Oh, it is looking nice down there. We've got weather for Wellington right now is 360 at 26 knots, gusting up to 41. Now, if we just quickly have a look up here, max wind speed. Oh, max wind speed. I don't know the performance limits on the aircraft exactly, so I always do have a quick look. Although it is a headwind by the looks of things. 360, it's a headwind, so we can land pretty much in any wind with a headwind. It's not a crosswind, but it will mean it gets a bit bumpy. Coming down here, we've got in the airport for Palmerston North, taxiways Delta Hotel closed to jets, jet aircraft operations. Delta Hotel. So we can have a look at that, although technically we're classified as a GA aircraft. So that's not too bad. Approach procedures, nothing really too interesting there. Wellington, aircraft requesting a visual approach. Clear our route for a visual approach for runway 34. Okay, so we won't really be using that. I don't think there's any air traffic control on. But these are, if they're traffic controls on, we would just flick through these more in depth, shall we say. Flicking down, crew NOTAM, always remember that check this. Generally they stay the same. They sometimes do change. Auto cost indexes, obviously we don't need to talk about now until the next flight. Flight release units, this is an important one, which I have made the mistake and had to go back and redo the flight plan, because you need to make sure you're in kilos or pounds and not the vice versa. These are very small because of how short our route is today, but they do get quite big and complex for the longer flights. No real weather around on them. So this one, first one shows the route. Second one shows significant weather. So there's just a tiny bit down there at the bottom of the South Island. But that's nowhere near where we're flying, so no problem there. And then we've got upper wind charts. So this is at flight level 140. We've got wind coming across from the west towards the east. Then at 180, and then at 240. Then here's our route, the VSD route. Take you off here, it's a vertical situational display. Up Gutney at flight level 10, and then up to 160. And the reason we did need to be at 6,800 in Gutney is because of this terrain down here. It comes up to 4,000, and you just want to be above. Now, for this, we are going to go down here, and we're going to go X-Plane 11. Open up this, custom scenery, X-Plane 11, output, FMS plans. Those are some random SIDs and stars. That's in there. All well and good. And now I'm going to input this to Vatsim. So we'll bring this up to here, pre-file. I'm just going to turn off the screen recording whilst I just put this in. So let's put in my Vatsim details, and I'd rather you guys did not see my password, etc., because it's annoying and it doesn't save here for some reason. Okay, that can disappear and we can go back on. There we go. So here's what it looks like. You don't have to input anything. I've just put my Vatsim ID and password. DBG1 SF50. We will just copy that actually, and we'll file that flight plan there. Make sure it says that, and then we can close it down. And can we close this down? We'll leave this up. We'll minimize it though, and we'll bring that up to the top. Lovely. Okay, that's still up. Not a problem. We'll come down now to VPilot, or XPilot it is. Connect. and we are 1, and our plane is, oh, X50, there we go, and we're connected. Flight plan now, we come up here, fetch from server, hit that a couple times, flight plan successfully retrieved from server, and we can file that flight plan there. Don't really need this now, there's no traffic controllers that have popped up, so that's all good. Active Sky, we'll come up here now, just have a quick glance at the weather. Come down here, 360, 26, gusting 41. It's very windy down there, not a big issue. Flight plan though, we can go and load this in. Palmerston to Wellington. Map, we can lock that to the aircraft, and we're all good to go. That's all the flight planning done for now, and radios we can do in a second. We're just going to close up the door, and we'll come down here and turn on the batteries, and generators, and nav lights, everything else, oxygen, fresh air can come on. Okay, flight plan, we can clear all this, enter, clear, we'll bring that down, and we can enter Palmerston to Wellington, enter, different air act cycle, not a problem, flight plan, limper, and we're now going to go here, and we're going to go, oh, no, clear, we want the sort of delete, clear that one, we're going to go direct to limper, but now we're going to go proximity, select a departure, okay, we did need to put active flight plan. Why is that letting me change? Why am I pressing this wrong? We'll try that again. Clear, enter. Oh, we need to put this in dirt. We need to change it to NZ November Zulu Papa Mike. Okay, now we can clear fielding, and now we can go and put this route in. So we can go understood, and then we go flight plan, and now it's okay. Beautiful. Clear that. Oh, sugar. Okay, we're gonna have to redo this again. What a pain in the ass. Not to worry. What a complete pain. What are you doing? I just want you to change. There we go. And we'll slowly bring it up to November Zulu. Papa Mike. Okay, enter. I'm going to clear fielding. Flight plan route. We want to go Wellington, understood. Now we want to go proximity, select departure. Okay, and our departure, according to this, was the Gutney to Papa. Gutney to Papa, which we don't actually, oh, do we have, yeah, we do have a Gutney to Papa, okay. Enter, and we're going to, what waypoint? Limper, so we're transitioning to Limper here. Enter, load, beautiful. No, we don't want to go that. No, What are you doing? Just go away. I just want to scroll through. There we go. Clear. There we go. That's sorted out finally. Wellington. We can go put our star in now. Proximity. Select approach. We're going to be doing in. We'll do ILS under 3-4, although this wind may make it a bit challenging. ILS 3-4. Bring this down. Umaga. There we go. Enter. Load that in. So now, if we go out, flying down there and doing a U-turn onto approach. One thing I just want to check. Okay, there we go. So we can clear that one. Approach. Yeah, sweet. So that all should work now. We are tuned onto Flatman. Nope. What are you doing? Come on, man. Okay, there we go. We are tuned onto Unicom right now, 122.8. So go ahead and we'll pop in the autopilot. We'll take it up to flight level 160. Vertical speed of. Oh, we don't want vertical speed going down. And QNH will double check is the right QNH over here. 1006. That's set correctly, and we can hit. I will leave it on roll for now. We'll hit GPS as we depart. Right, that's closed up. Everything is set. We don't actually need to announce anything now until we get out near the runway. So what we can do is start up this engine. Finally, after that complete and pain in the ass kerfuffle. She's coming alive. See, I've selected comp 1 there. Engine's running. Flaps can come down 50. Brakes can come off. And we'll... Oh, one thing I did forget, which is... Back on our flight plan, we had our weights, obviously. We were carrying 417 and 2223. So we'll go in here. I want to make sure that's set correctly. 417. Yeah, see. 417. And payload was... What? So that was our gross weight. There we go. That will do. Anyway, that's all set. So we can head off. It's a lot more complex. This is a default aircraft, so there's a lot less to do. But in the 7.3, there will be a lot of things to do before we get to the pushback phase. The only reason we're still here is because of my ineptism with the stupid G1000. I wonder why. This is going runway 25 Gutney and then departure and then limper. I feel like we need to delete. We'll just hold us there. So we do have time. Gutney is our main one, so... Oh, that's all good. Okay, we're going to Gutney. Coming onto the runway. DPG, we sort of made up that call sign. We'll call it Dobby. Palmerston North traffic. Dobby 1 entering runway 25, departing to the west will notify you when clear of the runway. So I know we're on Unicom and there's no one around, but it's just a good habit to get into when on Vatsim, even when there's no one around, to be notifying everyone around you. And once you start getting into that habit, everything will become a lot easier, especially when you get into the busy airports where you need to be doing sensitive, talking about doing sensitive, where you need to be doing a lot of different things at once. We don't need the whole length for this departure, so we're just going to bring her out here. Lights are all on. Everything's good to go. Last time we come into Palmy for a while. Thrust is stabilised. Full throttle. Airspeed alive. She's all over the place as usual. 70 knots. Pulling back already. And we're up. I'm going to bring on the autopilot.
Caution.
Whoa, oh, it's doing this annoying thing again.
Caution. Caution.
Oh well. Did this last episode, let's do it again.
Caution.
Don't know why it keeps on turning to the left. We can turn off that yaw damper. That might be the problem. There we go. Let it go. And autopilot is engaged. Don't know what it was doing there, but it can fix itself. A bit off track, but we're turning onto track nicely. That's another lovely evening here. See, we should have been straight out, but we're all over the place. Oh well. Not a big issue, and we can bring for 186. 96 in fact. We'll push ourselves up to nearly the max speed. Coming through this light layer of cloud here. Stunning. Yes, it is a beautiful evening here. ETA of 40 minutes, or 40 seconds I should say, to this waypoint. Up above the clouds now. Climbing smoothly away. 10 seconds till we turn. Left turn to 149 in 5, 4, 3, here it is, 2, 1, now. And there we go. I'm going to bring down our vertical speed. To 2,500, just because we'll lose a bit of speed there. next waypoint. So it is a nice short trip down. We'll have a look outside. Here is the Cirrus jet in all its glory. Just that one single turbofan engine there on the top. It's an interesting tail setup here, so these act as the rudders and the elevators, which actually might be a reason why it's so sensitive, but something to think about. And there's Palmy disappearing into the distance. We were just down there a few minutes ago. Now we're already nearly at the cruising altitude. And there's the weather regenerating. Any alerts? Just nav data. XPDR should be on. 1200 should have been set. Sun finally going down there. Let's retract south. There we go. Cruising at 160. Beautiful sunset down there. And it'll probably be dark when we land, but I'm almost certain it will be. Clouds over the ranges there. And guys, so I'll see you as we get closer to Wellington, because you're probably not going to want to watch the next 20 minutes. So I'll time lapse it, and yeah. See you in a bit. Goodbye. Okay, welcome back. We are back here in the sim, coming into Wellington, which is down there. There's the South Island over there. The sun is still up, however, as we descend, it will get lower quicker. We'll start our descent into Wellington, which it is quite windy down there. Done it down to 3,000 via the vertical speed. I'm guessing that's how fast we should be descending. And we're going to slow ourselves down to, what should we say? 166 or 176. It's not a big deal. There is, yeah, Wellington coming into view. Papamura up there. I believe it's pronounced that anyway. So we're going to fly downwind and come back up onto the approach there. Not much happening in Wellington at the moment on Vatsim. It's been a nice quiet flight. The 737 one, obviously next time I'll make sure we have air traffic control, but for the small one it's not a big deal. The TAF though, or the forecast for Wellington, still gusting to 36 knots, so it is going to be a bit of entertainment. Coming down, outside it's -10, so it's quite chilly up there. Beautiful colours, absolutely stunning. A nice clear evening now. There's the airport. Either end has got water, so with bigger jets it is important to land more firmly straight onto the centre line rather than messing around and fumbling it down. Sun obviously is going to be descending quicker as we get down. Lower. But it's been a very smooth flight. Descending at this rate, 10 minutes to get down. And what's our next waypoint? Imaga. 10 minutes, okay, we want to descend a little bit quicker then. Trouble is we don't have any speed brake. Well, we've got a lot of engine thrust we can kill if we need to get down a bit quicker. There's the runway. See, it's yeah, short. Doesn't have many exits, or not exits, but doesn't have anything at the end of the runways at either end. So it does make it for an interesting approach in windy conditions. But yes, we're just coming down nice and slowly to the arrival. We do need to hit GPS again to bring us around towards the waypoint. So we've just been on a bearing rather than flying towards Umaga without turning around onto it. So I estimate it's 4 minutes, we're probably 10 minutes from landing. So it's been a bit of a longer episode, but these views should be worth it. Completely clear, crisp evening. Although it's quite warm out. Up here it is still -3 on 11,000 feet. So it'll be about 16 degrees, 17 degrees down there. So yeah, crisp evening. And these colours are stunning. Fire protection, so if you did have an engine fire, which wouldn't be very good. There's literally a parachute system on this aircraft. It's pretty cool. We'll have to have a mess around with that. Not there though, because we do want to get down safely. We'll shortly be doing a left turn to continue out. As this line, as this bearing aligns. Yeah, there we go. There's a few cars down there driving along. See lots of little cars here moving around. That's what I love about X-Plane. You just wouldn't get this in P3D or good old FSX or anything. Down here, a little loop. It's only got that, it's a little glitch as it doesn't think it can turn that quickly. And then up on final. 8:50 in the evening. The largest aircraft to land here, scheduled to land here is the Singapore A350. I used to fly the 777M, but obviously the A350 is comparable to the 777-200 in seat capacity, but due to it being a lot newer, it's a lot more fuel efficient. Hence why they brought it in. Obviously larger aircraft have landed here on one-off occasions there. New Zealand sometimes flying the odd 777-300ER just for a sort of show event. But yeah, scheduled only 320s and 73s that come in, along with dash 8s and ATRs. And the sun finally going behind the horizon there. As we cross this open section of water before backtracking onto the runway. If we did lose an engine right now, we'd automatically turn around straight towards the runway, and then we'd sort out this other stuff. If there was a fire, get the fire suppression system as we did our turn, but the main thing would be to turn around whilst we still have heights to get on track for the runway. How long have we got? 2 miles. Okay, turning in 10 seconds. Are we high or are we low for the runway? We're high. Not a problem. Plenty of time to get lower. Oh, still running, swing. Send a little bit quicker there. Direct track of 341. Coming in as usual in this aircraft, probably a bit high. But that will be fine. Carry on down to 2,500 and bring the auto approach mode on. Localizer is arming, and we're well above the glide, so not too worried. Glide slope's coming in now. We're just putting our altitude down so that we can hit the glide. And obviously, and we'll take off the autopilot and we'll fly it in from there. We're just going to go and disengage. There comes the autopilot. Speed is now manual, and we're coming in on final. How far out are we? Direct track 5 miles. Wellington traffic, Cirrus 50, direct runway 34, 5 mile final. I did recall, just because we are type, you can put type all call sign in when you're coming in, so, and there's no real traffic around. So it's not too bad. Well, I think I was supposed to use the call sign, but they'll understand. Right, when we get to 1,500 feet, we'll bring the gear down. Idling the throttle now. Three miles to run, and we will bring the gear down a bit early. In bigger jets, we will bring it down 2,500. Just to help us with some drag, although it seemed to have done the opposite. We can bring down all our flat, but I'd rather slow down a little bit more before bringing down some flat. There we go, there's a glide slope coming in. And we're good on the glide. Need to be about getting down to 80 knots to land, so we do need to lose some speed here.
500.
Bring down some flat. Bring down all our flat now for landing. And our speed is dying nicely. Oh, but we have just floated right up. Hence why I didn't want to do it too late, although I guess it's better doing it now than rather than getting a little bit closer. But 500 feet, we are quite close to the runway. And we're looking extremely slow, but that's because of our ground speed's only 45 knots. Yeah, we've just been hit by that wind. I can feel it flying at her. So it's 21 gusting 36, and it's quite hard to fly at these slow speeds. Because our airspeed obviously is 70 there, but our ground speed is 40, so it just feels extremely slow. Keep us a little bit higher. In jets, it is a bit more important the larger aircraft you go to get the correct puppy lights and get on the right glide path. There we go. The wind is pushing us a little bit around, but not to worry. Coming in nice and slowly. There we go. Bring it up. Out of the throttle. A little bit of right rudder and right aileron. Oof. And we're down. And that is our introduction of flight planning and radios. Not much happening on the radios, obviously, there. But, just a full flight in this little jet here. We have gotten to see its characteristics. Let me just inform traffic. Wellington traffic, W1 now clear of runway 34. Oh, we'll taxi down Alpha here. And we'll turn right at the second one. And park us up. So we'll be flying out of here to either up to Auckland or Queenstown, Australia with the 7-3. And that will be a completely different aircraft because the last few episodes we have obviously just been flying in this with this G1000 setup, but with this next aircraft it's going to look completely different, and the whole flying experience is going to be, well, you basically can forget everything from this aircraft. Don't really know where we're taxiing to. I'm just going to get on here and park up at one of these gates. We'll come out and have a look. Oh, so I'm just going to have to park up at a gate here. Oh, this plane is really irritating. They all just start turning off to the left. Don't know why, but it is quite annoying. Anyway, bring ourselves in. Gosh. Onto stand. Don't think the gates are gonna work for us, but that's not to worry. Brakes are on. Engine can come off. Okay. Nav, generators, battery, and we can finally open the door. Have some fresh air, yay! And we're down in the international stands, or domestic. I don't know which one it is, but we're not where we should be. We should have gone over there, or yeah, just over there seems to be the only place with GA aircraft. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. It's been fun filming this one. It's been absolutely stunning, the sunset arrival into Wellington here. I hope you're looking forward to seeing the 737. I certainly am. It's a lovely aircraft to fly, and a big step up, but a lot more satisfying when you land it. It's a lot harder to land and fly than these tiny little aircraft. Anyway, until next time, have safe landings, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.